from South Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you for holding this important hearing today. And thanks to the ranking member for his comments earlier on, his opening statements about the importance of having market accessibility to all Americans. And it seems like we've been heading in the right direction for quite some time here over the last 10 years or so. And some of the concerns I have, Chair Gensler, is that what I've seen from a policy position from you so far seems to may actually jeopardize that path to financial opportunity for the average American. I think back to my days in business when I was in the insurance and for a small time in the financial services business, that I would tell my clients oftentimes that there are really only three ways to create wealth in America. First is real estate, and one of the reasons why we focus on the American dream is synonymous with home ownership. There's no question in my mind that the fact is that you build equity in your house and you're actually building equity in this nation. It's your share of the American dream that is so powerful and important that we focus on. The second way that you create wealth in this nation and experience more of the American dream is through having a business, and that business grows and it becomes more profitable, and that net worth that you see accumulating is a part and parcel to the American dream. And then finally, it's having an equity position in the marketplace. And to the extent that we make it more affordable for the average person to invest in this marketplace, they have a chance to literally experience the American dream, to exceed their wildest imaginations financially. If you think back 32 years ago, do you have any idea what the percentage of American households that were investing in the stock market?
Well, we've grown, particularly in the last 10 years.
32 years ago, any idea what it was?
I don't know the specific number, but lower than today, about 10 points lower.
Good answer. So 32% of American households 32 years ago had access to one of the three streams that leads to creating wealth in this nation. And much of the reason why they had such limited access is because the fees to make a trade were so darn high. Imagine today the average stock price is around $119 with the S&P 500. If you invested in a stock in the 70s and 80s, your stock would have to increase to $139 before you made a penny, because you were using that increase to pay the transactional costs. Today, it's zero. So literally, you have a chance to invest in the marketplace because we've gotten rid of those high transactional costs. So as you said, today, the actual number of households that are able to invest in the market, 53% of households are invested in the market. Why? Because the price to get involved in the market plummeted. And so when we hear things like banning payment for order flow, it sends shivers down the spines of people who have waited for this day to come. 15 years ago, it was $15 or $20 to make your trade. Today, it's nothing. It literally, you have access to a market. If you're a rural America living in Saluda, South Carolina, or inner city Chicago for the first time, you have a chance to be in the marketplace. Under the Biden administration, those opportunities could vanish away so quickly, and that is painful as a kid who grew up in poverty, who now has access to the market. 40% of the households in this nation who make less than $75,000 they're in the market. Why? Because it's affordable. We have to trust Americans to make their own decisions on their own investments and not have a paternalistic regime helping protect Americans because they can't figure it out for themselves. And I'm concerned about that. And my question for you is, what is your plan to ensure that the existing system and the potential for innovation within that system continue so that the average retail investor benefits from that and we don't see ourselves going backwards that leads to higher trade costs so that fewer Americans are able to invest their hard-earned money in the way that they see fit?
Senator, I'm sitting here thinking, one, how much my father, Sam Gensler, if he was alive today, would like you, because he would have agreed on your 3 points about real estate, start a small business, which he did. He never had more than 30 employees. And as a kid, he used to toss us value line tear sheets, and he'd say, what do you think of this stock? And he'd try to buy 50 shares of something.
Yes.
Couldn't agree with you more. In terms of the retail investing, I think that's a positive thing in America, and it was when I was a kid as well. On the cost, we can always do better. And what I'm saying is technology is driven down and competition is driven down the cost of, as you said, investing. But there's still a cost left. The payment for order flow, even if it's a couple pennies out, is a cost. So it's not, it's buried behind the scene. What I've raised to the economists with Jessica Wachter and her whole team is, can we do better to have more competition, that orders compete with orders rather than one wholesaler buying half of the retail flow in America? And so it's about trying to even do better in these great capital markets we have, but we can't take anything for granted. So I think we're more aligned than you. It's about trying to drive it down even lower cost.
And Chair, I'll take it your word. And frankly, it sounds like your father was an amazing guy who had a chance to own his house, start a business, and invest in the market.
And never went to college and raised 5 kids.
Yep, and that's the story of the American dream. One of the things I hope that we protect is the notion that the American dream is accessible for all Americans. And when we have within the administration parts of the puzzle that can make it worse for the average person in our nation, I think we should pause and take a serious look at how the market works and how can we make it better. Thank you.
Thanks, Senator Scott.